Madam President, I come to the floor for a few moments with a friend and a colleague, Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina, but speaking on behalf of a much broader group of senators. Senator Amy Klobuchar of Minnesota has been my partner in this. We have 10 senators who are co-sponsors of an urgent bill, the Afghan Adjustment Act. And the message behind it is simple, that we have to do right by those who fought alongside us for 20 years. Madam President, I have 2 letters with me that I'll briefly reference that Sean Van Diver and the great folks of Afghan EVAC pulled together and presented to us. They have been sent to the Majority and Minority Leader of the House and the Senate, one signed by 44 flag officers, and I'll read one sentence. We are convinced the Afghan Adjustment Act furthers the national security of the United States, and it is a moral imperative. And the other, from every former ambassador from the United States to Afghanistan, says that without the Afghan Adjustment Act, the task of American diplomacy will be much more difficult. If we don't act to support our allies by passing it in the future, allies will be less likely to support us. And before I hand over comments to my friend and colleague, I just wanted to close by saying I know the story all too well of an Afghan family of 5 in Newark, Delaware, Sher and Shakir Alizi. He served and fought alongside a Delawarean, saved his life. And today, after having received death threats and fleeing the Taliban, he is working day and night to support his family, but without the legal status here that this bill would provide. For folks who are concerned about the lack of vetting, alleged lack of vetting of the 70,000 Afghans who were brought here, this is the way we get that done. In-person vetting that secures the United States and provides a predictable path forward for these folks. I want to thank Congressman Peter Mayer of Michigan, an Army veteran of Iraq who has been a tireless voice in support of this legislation, and I want to invite my friend and colleague to speak about this legislation and its urgency for our country.
Thank you, Madam President. I'll be very brief here. What we're trying to do is solve a dilemma for the nation. The people we're talking about here almost all came on military aircraft as the country of Afghanistan descended into darkness. Yesterday, the Taliban denied university education for all women. Basically, all women in Afghanistan under Taliban rule can't go to school anywhere, anyhow. The people that are here that we're talking about got on military aircraft. Some have come out other ways, and they have fought alongside us. There's a vetting problem. I acknowledge it. We're going to solve the vetting problem. We're going to make sure that people go through a vetting system that protects our national security here at home. But 40% of these people were chief of mission vetted. These are the people that interpreted for us, that were there when we needed them during this 20-year war. And they have no place to go. If we send them back, it's a certain death sentence. So we failed to get it in the omnibus, but we're going to keep trying. And I want to let everybody know, the veterans out there who served alongside this population, we're not going to let you down. They were there for you, and we're going to be there for you and them. We're going to get this done. This is the right thing to do. There's no other ending that is acceptable to me. The people who were there with us in the fight that are here in America need to stay. This will be their new home. They're willing to die for our military members and contractors and civilians. I've been to Iraq and Afghanistan over 50 times. A lot of the interpreters that I work with have made it out. I got involved, like many veterans here in the Senate and the House, so we have a moral obligation to these people. They will make great citizens over time, and we're going to vet them to make sure we have the right people here. But I promise Senator Coons and Klobuchar and Wicker and Moran, the group that started this, that we're going to get this done. To all the veterans groups, keep your voice up. We need you now more than ever. Next year, this will be a top priority. So we're going to succeed in giving those who are willing to risk their life for Americans serving abroad a place to call home, America. Thank you.
I just want to thank my colleagues who've been such great and steadfast supporters. Senator Klobuchar has been tireless in the Democratic caucus, and we've been joined by Senator Blumenthal, Senator Shaheen, and Senator Leahy. Senator Shaheen has also fought tirelessly for the SIV program. There is an expansion of that in the omnibus. And on the other side of the aisle, Senator Blunt and Senator Murkowski, Senator Moran, and Senator Wicker have joined Senator Graham as co-sponsors. We are so grateful for the American veterans who have brought these cases and this issue to us over and have pressed for it. And as my colleague from South Carolina has just said, we will not stop fighting for the men and women who served alongside us, who supported our mission, who were a part of our evacuation, and who are now here. I cannot imagine a worse moral outcome than for us to force them back to Afghanistan. And this piece of legislation has crafted a solution that allows for in-person vetting for every single Afghan in this country, in exchange for which they would have a path towards legal status. After the Vietnam War, thousands of those who served in the military of South Vietnam came to the United States, also as refugees, and they were given legal status through a Special Adjustment Act. That is what we are seeking to do here. Those who are here as Afghans temporarily on humanitarian parole face uncertainty and difficulty. We should resolve this. The opposition of a very small number of senators has blocked this from moving forward, and we want to focus on getting this done. So to those veterans, those members of the House, those advocates who have been a part of this effort, we want to thank you. To those who are wondering when and how we are going to get this done, you heard the pledge of my colleague. We are going to keep at this for the rest of this Congress and, if necessary, into the next. We are grateful for your voice, your service, and your support, and we look forward to working with you on this urgent mission together. Thank you. And with that, Madam President, I yield the floor.